The snow was falling. The cabin was quiet. Until the screaming started. It should have been a peaceful weekend, just Jake, his wife, and their kids, gathered deep in the forest to reconnect. No cell service, no roads in or out without a snowmobile, just nature and Kale. The wolf Jake raised from a pup. He was family, Jake always said, loyal, loving, tamed, but wild never forgets what it is. And that morning, with the cold biting and the sky pale, Kale didn't look at Jake with love. He looked with instinct. One moment they were taking photos in the snow. The next, Jake was on the ground, screaming. Claire clutched their daughter, frozen in horror. Mason tried to pull the wolf off, but it was too late. Kale's muzzle was red. Jake's voice was gone, and the snow wouldn't stop falling. Jake Hollis loved two things in this world: his family and Kale. To him, the wolf wasn't a pet. He was something more, something deeper, a soul bonded through survival. Years ago, Jake found Kale as a dying pup on the edge of a fire-scorched valley. No pack, no mother, just smoke and bones. Jake took him in, fed him by hand, slept beside him during storms, defended him from frightened locals. And Kale grew, big, strong, intelligent, protective. They were a legend in those parts. The man who raised the wild. Jake posted photos, wrote blogs, gave interviews, always ending with, "He's not dangerous. He's my son." But time changes all things. Kale matured. His instincts deepened. The bond stayed, but something dark coiled beneath his golden eyes. When Jake's family planned a rare visit to the remote mountain cabin, Claire was hesitant. She loved Jake, but not the wolf. She tolerated the stories, but feared the truth. Kale had snapped once. Nothing serious, Jake said, just a warning growl when someone got too close. But Claire had seen the bite marks Jake didn't talk about. She had seen the way Kale watched, unblinking, calculating. Still, Jake insisted, "He loves you all. He'll be fine." So they came, Claire, Mason, Emily. They played board games by the fire. They drank cocoa. They laughed. And Kale, to his credit, stayed calm, quiet, watchful, lurking just outside the frame. But the silence was wrong. Too heavy. Too still. And Claire could feel it. She knew something was building. She just didn't know how fast it would fall apart. If this story haunted you, tap the red subscribe button below. The signs were small at first. A missed meal. A sudden snarl when Mason walked by. Deep scratches on the cabin door, like Kale wanted in, or wanted something out. Jake dismissed it all. "He's moody. It's the cold," he said, brushing snow off Kale's fur with care. But Claire felt it. Kale wasn't pacing like an animal comfortable in his space. He was circling like a predator preparing for something. Mason noticed it too. The way Kale stood between him and his dad. The way Kale growled low when Emily hugged Jake too tightly. "He's not a dog," Mason whispered to his mom one night. "He's waiting." Claire had already started packing early. The kids needed to leave. Jake refused, said they were overreacting, said they didn't understand the bond. "He saved my life," he told her. She didn't doubt it. But what Jake couldn't admit, what he wouldn't say out loud, was that the creature he loved was changing. And deep inside, even Jake had begun to feel it, a flicker of fear, every time Kale's eyes met his, and didn't blink. The morning it happened, the snow was thick and slow. Jake wanted a family picture outside, the woods behind them, the cabin in frame, and Kale by his side. Claire hesitated. "Let's not," she said, but Jake insisted. "Just one, then we'll head in." Emily was laughing, tossing snow. Mason stood off to the side, arms crossed. Claire held the camera, and Kale stood by Jake, unmoving, still, too still. Jake knelt to hold his fur. "Good boy," he whispered. Kale growled softly, low. "Shh," Jake soothed. And then it happened. In an instant too fast to stop, too violent to believe, Kale snapped. He lunged, fangs exposed, jaws locking onto Jake's throat. The weight of him collapsed Jake into the snow. Claire screamed. Emily froze. Mason ran forward shouting, grabbing sticks, anything. Blood splattered across the white. Jake's hands thrashed, then slowed. His voice gurgled. But his last words, barely breath, were clear. "Don't shoot him." Then silence. Cale stood over the body, heaving, bloody, unbothered. The wolf Jake loved, the one he raised, was now the one who took everything away. There was no signal in the woods, no help coming. For hours, Claire sat inside the locked cabin, holding her children close as Cale prowled just outside the frost-covered windows, watching, waiting. When the authorities arrived, they found Jake's body untouched in the snow. Cale stood beside him. He didn't run, he didn't growl, he simply stared. They tranquilized him, quietly, efficiently, no drama. Kyle was later euthanized, silently, in a facility far away. The media exploded. Father mauled by pet wolf in front of family. Some blamed Jake, others blamed the wolf, but no one truly understood. They weren't there. They didn't hear the sounds. They didn't feel the cold on their skin as blood spread across the snow. Claire gave only one statement. She said, "Jake didn't raise a monster. He loved something wild and believed that love was enough to tame it. But nature doesn't bend for love, and wild never forgets what it is." Emily doesn't speak much anymore. Mason hasn't gone near a forest since. The cabin still stands, quiet and snow-covered. And somewhere in the woods, the howl of a memory lingers. Not of hate, not of rage, but of love that didn't know when to let go.